Architectural Builders Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
Just hold for a second.
Hello?
Hey, Rich.
Hey, hi. Is this Rich?
It is.
Hi, how are you doing, Rich? Rich, actually, the reason we called is I actually came across your video on YouTube about the manufacturing of fire-rated doors. And so we were like preliminary doing the research work, and you brought some really good points, and I wanted to just kind of see if hopefully we could meet up too, but I want to talk to you. So our company is looking to invest, was looking to invest in a fire rating door manufacturing, and then I came across this, and it you brought in some really good points as far as buying a pre-made, being a licensed like a machinist, and buying slabs from you guys. So I wanted to see if there's a way if you could guide me a little bit more, and want to see how we can do business as well.
Are you starting a business manufacturing fire-rated wood doors?
So we wanted to. That's what we were looking for. So what our company does now is we buy a lot of these fire-rated doors ourselves due to, we're a general construction company trying to expand and look into doing it ourselves, manufacturing it ourselves. That was the idea. But when I came across your YouTube, you brought a point where going into manufacturing versus, buying the slab and being a licensed machinist, and then marketing these fire-rated doors ourselves. So this is something I wanted to kind of discuss it out and see if there's anything you guys can help us do, maybe obtaining raw materials or...
So do you want to go into the business manufacturing wood fire-rated doors?
Correct.
Okay. I'm happy to be a substantial part of the entire process, provided that I have some sort of a percentage stake in the overall picture.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that is open. That's that's something we can definitely talk about it. Because you guys I was looking you guys up. You're based in Florida, correct?
That's where my office is, yes.
Oh, okay. Because I'm based in Chicago. And
yeah,
I know
you
have... so we're in South Holland, Illinois.
Yeah, I think Rich in Prospect Heights, Illinois, right?
It used to be, yeah.
Okay. So, Rich, if you're so are you in Illinois or no? You're
used to be.
Used to be. Okay. So, I wanted to see if we can maybe it could be a different call, or if we can meet and talk business. That'd be, or we could do a Zoom call setup. So something like if you can just kind of hash it out where, okay, how will it work? If it's something you want to be vested partner in, then what are you looking for, and how much investment is required. So we're just doing like a preliminary, just to see if it's even worth going that route, or the other route which you did mention is you can potentially be our supplier for these slabs. So either way we go, I think it'll be a good venture.
How many doors like this do you currently sell a year, or a month, or a week?
So we ourselves, we buy close to, I would say, 500 doors a year.
That is nowhere near enough you'd have to be doing that probably every 3 weeks for this to make sense. Setting up the manufacturer resources is going to require a substantial amount of money on hand. That's just, there's no reason why you would try to do this. There's just, 42 doors a month. You're not a door distributor at that point.
Right. So the idea was not to, we're one of the use cases, but the idea was to start and supply to other contractors or other businesses such as us too. But I see your point, and that is a good point. And that's where I was trying to look into the licensed machinist, where you were saying we could be a distributor instead. And if we go that route, is that something you can guide us on too, and potentially supply us whatever need be?
This is something I have personal experience in. It's, the bottom line is to acquire the raw materials to do this. You're without volume and obviously without the space to do it in. You would need thousands of square feet to do this. Probably 7,500 would be a minimum, would be my guess. The amount of money you'd need just for machinery, because you can't economically build these doors by hand. There's no way to do it. You need pieces of equipment that you have no practical way around not having. And if you got to figure out first how you are going to 10x your volume, for sure. And then the question becomes is, what's the reason? Why do this? Why do it? What's the problem in the market right now that you're looking to solve?
Correct. So
one of the things Okay, sir. Yeah, you can continue.
So one of the things that is a longer lead time, correct? So if we come in and we alone say that, hey, we can provide you doors, not 10 weeks, not 15 weeks, we can get you these doors in a week, right? That alone would be a big thing, and just the time frame, and possibly I don't know what the price. So if that even makes sense. So we're at the very initial stage right now, but that is something like we ourselves were using it, and we're like, okay, well, what if we get into this market and see if we can maybe reach out to more people that are like us and sell it to them as well.
Well, I've done this. Back in the 90s, I had a company called Wood Doors Inc., and we were quick ship wholesalers of architectural wood doors, and we built them. We built it from all the components. There are five primary components to building a wood door. My family had Century Door in Elk Grove Village for decades, and part of what was done there was the wholesale of architectural flush doors. But, last I had heard, Shuham up on Elston Avenue was also doing this. I don't know if they were selling to other distributors, but there is, for every fire door you sell, you're going to need 50 doors that are non-fire rated. So if you're going to actually scale to be able to manufacture doors, you're going to want to do non-rated doors as well, because that's where the volume is. And the whole angle was lead time, as you addressed, because lead times back in the old days were 6 weeks. Well, now they're 16 weeks or longer. And, if I had the desire to do this and I had my phone ringing more than it is now for wood doors, I would be buying all the machinery and I'd be doing it myself. So our whole thing was versatility, because what you're building is actually modular. You have to have core and you have to have the lumber for the styles, but what skin or door plywood what 1/8-inch plywood you put on the face of it? Do you care if it's red oak or white oak or American black cherry or plain sliced walnut or, African mahogany or maple? You don't care. Right. You're slapping things together. So that would be my suggestion there. But I kid you not, that unless you are sitting on a substantial amount of money, this is not going to work because the suppliers of the raw material, these guys are net 30. You get to net 31, you're cut off. You do that more than once, you do that twice, they close your account. So in order to do this, you must be absolutely positive of volume, because if you're not, you're just lighting money on fire is what you're doing. The wood industry does not play games.
Right. And so say for example, if we go the other route, being a licensed machinist, what's your suggestion there? If we go that route, where we're buying the slabs.
First of all, if you have someone you can hire that has a carpentry background, that you're not going to have to pay $150,000 a year plus workman's comp and everything else, when the factories don't charge much to machine it to begin with. So if you were going to get into doing it yourself, you're either going to do it by hand with basic shop tools, of which I'm intimately familiar with every shop tool that you would use. And if you outgrow that, then you go into CNC equipment. And everything I just said there is hundreds of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands. And there's always one more machine that you need to do it better, faster, stronger. We took out a couple of SBA loans back in the 90s for equipment, and it all worked out fine. But the last machine we bought was $280,000, 25 years ago. So, but we had the volume. I mean, we grew that business from 0 to 900,000 in 3 years, and we took market share from other people. We took it. We took market share, but we took market share because we could. I knew who to market to. I knew who the target client base was. I knew their language, and I knew their names because I was active in the greater community of door hardware distributors. So I already knew these guys. What's going to be your thing? Lead time alone. Lead time is great, but when the door is $1,000, they're just, the economics have to come into play as well.
Very good. Is there someone you can suggest us, like maybe go check this company out, or they're doing what you're thinking of doing, just kind of seeing if it's even, would you have a contact, or is there some, like what would you guide us to do, or what's your suggestion right now? Well, I mean, if you are wanting to become a licensed machiner, that means you're going to buy manufactured doors from a door manufacturer, and you're just going to prep them in your shop, which is nice. But the only reason to do that is if you're selling to other distributors where one guy uses Seco and the other guy uses Curry's, and then you got Steelcraft, and then you've got, other locations that you need to take a door and prep it to anyone's location. That's the advantage of that. But if you don't have that sort of call, there's no reason to have that sort of ability. I'm not aware of anyone in the Chicago area who is wholesaling wood doors. All the wood doors that I do, I always order from the factory nowadays and have for years. And the lead time is just the lead time. I don't have enough demand to justify me scaling up. If my phone's just, like I said, my phone's just not ringing enough. But Chicago's a great market. You've got 50 distributors of hollow metal doors and frames there, and all of those guys, in a commercial building, how many steel doors are there compared to wood doors? 10 to 1, or 1 to 10, I should say. A lot more wood doors, right? So you'd have to identify who your target market was and go after them. But I don't know of anyone that you could call and say, hey, actually show me how you do this. I don't. What you want to do is potentially reach out to wood door manufacturers and just ask if you can have a factory tour. You're going to see how factories do it, but you'll have a better sense of how it's done. That's a good advice. Yeah, we could start there just to see what the ideal manufacturing process is, and then So these wood door manufacturers, like they do. So what you're suggesting is pretty much do a tour. Then, if we are trying to get into the licensed machinist, which is what I'm assuming out of this conversation, it makes more sense based on initial stages. And the same licensed machinist pretty much is supplying to all the wholesalers. So we need to have like a distributionship network that we can go and potentially sell this to. And because a lot of these wholesalers...
To become a licensed machiner is not a big deal. Basically, there's something that is called their procedures, or pardon me, not procedures, their approvals. It's a binder, and it literally lists what you are permitted to do on a fire door in terms of machining it in your shop. And a licensed machiner is regularly inspected for quality and accuracy of record keeping, and it outlines what is permissible. The other thing I would suggest you do is to either join DHI or take their Certified Fire Door and Egress Assembly Inspector class, and that will educate you on NFPA 80, and it will talk at length on codes and as it governs fire doors and other opening protectives. So that would be a good source of information. But if you get into machining other people's doors, you have to become a licensed machiner. If you then phase into laying up or building your own doors, you still need all that same, you still need to be a licensed machiner. So every manufacturer of wood doors, they're all licensed machiners, and that's just, you apply with Warnock Hersey or Factory Mutual or Underwriters Laboratory, and you say, I want to become a licensed machiner. These folks, that's a revenue stream for them. They want you to call them for that. It's easy.
Gotcha. And you said you said NFPA 80. Is that one of the codes we need a class for? And you said the association you said was for the inspection class.
Yeah. So the first one, NFPA 80, is a National Fire Protection Agency. Literally, look up. I think it's NFPA.org, and the publication is publication 80. They've got publication 101 and dozens of others. 80 and 101 would be very good for you to not only be aware of, but methodically begin studying. The organization, one of them that puts on the class, is the Door Hardware Institute, DHI. It might be DHI.org, I don't know, but it's the Certified Fire Door and Egress Assembly Inspector class. So NFPA 80 is a standard, meaning it is a published document by an independent third party that puts together good ideas on what we should do about fire doors. Now, if your local building code adopts NFPA 80 or parts of it, that then means NFPA 80 is part of the building code. So that's why you need to be aware of it, because absolutely NFPA 80 or parts of it will be adopted in the local code. And you will be fascinated as to what's permissible on fire doors when you start to dive into it. And that class, also the codes class from DHI, those are all good things. So for the last 10 years, NFPA 80 has mandated that certain occupancy types have annual inspections. If you're going to be an inspector of doors, you should be educated on what you're inspecting and how the entire procedure goes of inspecting doors for compliance. A lot of, like hospital chains, they don't get fundings if their fire doors are not compliant, which requires them to have annual testing, which requires them to hire people who are experts in it. Now, the code doesn't require you hire someone who has the credential like I do after my name, which means I took the class, I passed, I get the credential after my name. But there are customers of mine who do nothing other than inspect fire doors. And that would be a great, in the class are not just people like me who are door distributors. There are people who want to do inspections. There are people who want to learn more about the building industry. There might be people there who want to learn how to build doors. But it would be very helpful.
Got you. So, no, thank you so much. I mean, this is plenty of good info, and I guess you gave us like a start taking these certifications just to see like what we're getting into, and then go from there. But excellent, and thank you, and really good job, Rich. I mean, they're posting videos. You know, you're helping a lot of other businesses like that.
I believe, and I have for about the last year, that there's a need in the marketplace for me to dust off the old idea of laying up doors. And I would be if I had the phone ringing enough. But given the lead time, and given how costly it is to buy these doors through wholesale, there might be an angle to exploit. But without volume, this is going to be a big tax write-off. You've got to have volume. You're going to need to bring in a truckload of cores every 6 to 8 weeks. And a truckload is 300 plus. You're going to need to do that, or it's just not making sense. The amount of labor that it takes to build a door, you are going to, I mean, back when I was looking for people, it was just the pre-.com situation, the .com bust, and wages were through the roof. They stagnated right after that. You know, 2003 they started to stagnate, but it was close to impossible to hire anybody that wasn't being paid $70,000 a year back then. So that's the other major problem. You know, it's not a one-person job. One guy can't do the work. You got to have 3 people in the shop doing this stuff. And these guys got to know, you make one mistake on a door that now you've got a material and labor cost to $300, and someone damages it, you're done. There's no way to repair it. Well, I mean, there's ways to minimize the damage, but there's a lot to consider here. And it's all easy if there's volume, but if there's no volume, I'd go the other direction. Just let somebody else build them for you.
Right.
Let me know how it turns out, okay? You guys got my email.
Yeah. No, thank you. No, we do want, honestly, we do want these opinions, and we do want your expertise. So thank you for all the info. And also we do buy a lot of other stuff. So I did pass the architecture, the website to all my estimators, so they'll be calling you too, or calling your office for other material we do buy regularly. But thank you so much. And if you don't mind, I mean, once I start this process, would it be okay reaching out to you and seeing if you can assist or guide us?
That would definitely be a stake position that I would have if I was going to take ownership of the actual building of the structure. But yes, I'm open to that conversation.
Perfect. Okay. No, and I have no problems in that. So, okay, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Rich, so can we get your direct number as well?
The same number you called. Just ask for me. I usually answer the phone, but if I don't, just ask for me.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.